We're Charlie and LeeAnne, a couple from California who left our cushy suburban life to spend the next several years cruising around the Pacific Ocean on our boat, Juliet. And our little dog, too. It's been a little while since we posted a video, but we're still out here cruising, and we are currently in Zihuatanejo. This is a major destination for people cruising on the Mexican Pacific coast, and for many, it's their final wintertime port of call before turning around to head north again. You may have heard of it before if you've ever watched the movie Shawshank Redemption. This is the beach that Andy longs to escape to, and eventually does in an emotional final scene, which, by the way, wasn't actually filmed here. Anyway, what began as a small fishing community has grown into a large, tourism-based region attracting people from around the world. I've wanted to visit here ever since we started cruising, and we're finally here. It's an absolutely gorgeous bay, with room for at least a couple hundred boats, which it needs because it's the site of the annual Sail Fest in February, a hugely important fundraiser for the children of the area. While tourism has taken over, it still has a very active fishing community, with fishing pangas heading out early every morning. The bay is lined with stunning cliffside homes and boutique hotels. We were here over the Christmas holidays, so the place was particularly lively. Boats in the harbor were all lit up. Street musicians played along the decorated Malecon, and the entire place just had a magical celebratory feel to it. Boundless got into the spirit, putting up their own Christmas decorations in their boat, including this rather unusual manger scene. Seriously though, we were just loving our first days here. It was hard to imagine that anything could mar this place for us. We are here in Zihuatanejo. We've been here for a couple of weeks. So far, we've been enjoying this place tremendously. I'm a runner, and whenever we're anywhere near land, I like to get on shore every day that I can and go for a 5 to 6 mile run. So here in Zihuatanejo, I found a great running path. I always try to find a place that feels safe, where I'm out in the community, where people can see me. And it's really a bike path is what it is. And it runs through, along streets and then past businesses, tiendas and restaurants, through residential communities. So I'm out where I'm seen by people the whole way, except for this one section when you get about 2.5 miles in. There's the main highway that runs to Ixtapa, and the bike path runs through underneath an overpass through a small tunnel. It's dark, it's only open at both ends, and I remember the last couple of times I'd run through there before thinking, this tunnel doesn't feel super safe, but I wasn't really worried about it because it's so short, and once I got to the other side, I'd be up by the highway where people could see me, so I didn't worry about it. I should have trusted my gut. A few days ago, I was running, and as I was approaching the tunnel, I saw a man had just exited the tunnel and was walking the other direction. I didn't pay him any mind, so I entered the tunnel, and about halfway through the tunnel, I suddenly felt strong arms just wrap around me from behind. I knew immediately that it was that man. I started screaming like crazy, even though it was really noisy in there because of the traffic overhead. That's why I hadn't heard him come up behind me. But I just started screaming like crazy, knowing that nobody would hear me, but hopefully it would send him the signal that I was not going to give up and that he had picked the wrong sweaty old lady to assault. He started clawing at my sports bra and scraping at my skin, and he managed to get my sports bra up, over my breast and expose me, and he was grinding up behind me, so I knew what he intended to do. And he was not letting go. He had me by at least 50 pounds and was at least 30 years younger than me. So at that moment, I knew that there was nobody who was going to rescue me. It was up to me. I was worried he was going to drag me up over the little cement lip and then down into the gravel beside the bike path where I don't know, well, I know what he would have done, but who knows how bad it would have gotten. But I knew that it was up to me to save myself. So I just started kicking and kicking behind me, kicking hard on his shins. I kicked up as high as I could, and I'm pretty sure I connected with his testicles, so that's good. And just screaming and scratching, and there was nothing I could do with my arms, but just letting him know in no uncertain terms that this was not going to be easy. And I was hoping to get the point across to him that this was going to be more trouble than it was worth. I don't know how much time passed. It felt like a really long time to me. But the whole time I just kept thinking, I am not going to die under this bridge. I am not going to die under this bridge, and nobody is going to come save me. I have got to save myself. And so I just went crazy in every possible way that I could. Finally, at some point, he just seemed to realize that this was not going to be an easy target. He just released me and bolted out of the tunnel. I turned around, still screaming at the top of my lungs. I tried to fumble my phone out of my little phone pack to hopefully get a video or a picture of him or something, but he was gone too soon, and my hands were shaking like this, so I couldn't do it anyway. And so at that point, if I was in the US, I would have immediately called 911. But I'm in Mexico. My Spanish is terrible. I wasn't even sure if 911 works, although I've come to find out it does, and I probably should have called it, but I called Charlie. When I'm off running, Charlie and Bubba wait for me at the beach, and it took me a couple of minutes to be able to stop screaming enough to get across to him what had just happened. And he said, just come back. So it took me a while to get back because I was about 2.5 miles out, and I did, I got back to him, and at that point, he calmed me down and comforted me. And we went and sought out the tourist police on the beach. We made a report to them. I gave a good description. We gave them all our contact information, and I was kind of hoping that I would hear from them, but nothing. They never contacted me. So they said they were going to, get some units out there to look for the guy. They said they knew exactly where this was, but I don't know if they ever did. At least a couple of decades ago, I took self-defense courses, and I don't remember everything that I learned. I know there's techniques for breaking out of a bear hug. I didn't remember that, but what I did remember, the main thing I remembered, was to make it hard, go crazy, spit, kick, scream, scratch, claw, anything just to let the guy know that you are not going to be an easy target. I have since read that 70% of women in a situation like that freeze. I did the opposite. I instantly knew that this man meant to seriously harm, if not kill me, and I had to go crazy, and that's what I did. Some people may ask why I am sharing this publicly. Some people may accuse me of oversharing, but I feel that it is important for a number of reasons. Many of us cruisers were adventurous, intrepid people out here living our best lives, but we are obviously doing things that take a lot more courage than most. And that can, I think, breed some overconfidence and a feeling like you're, like bad things aren't going to happen to you. I think I had some of that going on. So the reason I'm putting this out here is as a reminder to people. First of all, this can happen anywhere. I mean, it doesn't have to be in a foreign country. It can happen around the corner from your house. So we need to remember that. And then also, I just want to get the word out to women in particular. Take a self-defense course. I don't know how I would have reacted if I didn't have those thoughts in the back of my mind immediately coming forward the moment, literally the instant I felt that man's arms around me. I want people to know that worked for me. The other reason I'm putting this out here is because we've heard nothing now. It's been 5 days, no word from Zihuatanejo, and we've been told that the mayor, the chief of police, and high-level people in Zihuatanejo government are aware of this. We're told they take it seriously, but nobody has called me. Not a single person has contacted me. I just think it's important for people to know Zihuatanejo is a wonderful place, but there is crime here, and protect yourself. Be safe. Don't do what I did and go somewhere where you can't be seen alone.
Okay, so that happened. We made the decision to stick around and try not to let this one unfortunate incident color our impressions of Zihuat. We took walks on the beach. We saw baby sea turtles making their desperate dash for the sea. And we even celebrated New Year's Eve. Along with a whole flotilla of other cruisers in the bay, we went to a wonderful restaurant called Rufo's for dinner and lovely live music.
So this is my first run since the incident, and it's been a couple of days. I looked at my running clothes yesterday and I felt kind of sick to my stomach, and I was like, no, I'm not ready. But today I said, I gotta get back up on that horse, so to speak. I'm only running in areas where there's traffic and people, where I feel safe. So yeah, I'm doing it. So here I am at the tunnel. I'm with 4 other people, so I feel safe. So this is my first time here since the incident. I just really wanted to get it on video so I can show people the place I'm talking about. First seeing it makes my heart pound and my hands shake, but I'm okay. And I have people here who care about me, so that's what's most important. But I just wanted y'all to see what it looks like and where he got me. This is about the spot where he got me, right in the middle of the tunnel. And as you can see, behind me, there's this cement barrier, and he was dragging me towards the barrier, and I'm pretty sure his intention was to drag me over it and down into this dirt area here. So once he released me and let go of me, he went running behind me, and he went out this direction, back the way we came, and then this is the path that he went tearing off down. Okay, so I did it. I faced my fear. I came back to the tunnel. I feel like I took back some of my power by doing that, so yay me. When it first happened, obviously I was severely traumatized, so it's affected my feelings of personal safety. And initially, I wanted to just bolt. I was like, let's get back to the boat, let's pull up anchor, let's get the hell out of Zihuatanejo. But you know what? I didn't want to give in to him. I didn't want to let him win in that way. You know, people, some of them whom we've been cruising with for a while, and some of them we just met, they found out about this and they were really here for me. I just feel bathed in love and light. And my husband has been a prince. He's been so patient. My family, you know, talking to them on the phone every day has been a huge help. I refuse to let this rob me of my joy of cruising. Trust your gut. If something doesn't feel safe, stay away from it. Don't wear earbuds, at least not earbuds in both ears. I was listening to an audiobook. Going forward, I'm going to continue to listen to audiobooks when I run. I'm not going to let this guy steal that joy from me, but I'm going to have one earbud in, and I'm going to be paying way more attention to my surroundings. But the key lesson that I learned is that I am stronger than I thought I was. I did not know. You don't know until something like that happens to you. I did not know how I would react. And I'm pretty damn pleased with myself. What I learned is that I am a badass, take no prisoners sailor woman.
Other cruisers had told us that the electric bike tour to Ixtapa was not to be missed. So, along with a guide and our new friends Margot and her lovely daughter Anne-Marie, we did it, and it was so worth it. Over 4 hours, we rode from the beach in Zihuat all the way to Ixtapa and had a blast. We stopped at an estuary filled with an array of reptiles, including turtles, gigantic colorful iguanas.
This guy right here is pretty interesting.
And some of the largest alligators we've seen. Those were some big boys.
You sure that's not a crocodile? Or is that an alligator? Alligator.
We ended the ride at a wild and windy beach and then headed back. It was a great day.
We really enjoyed when we first came to Zihuatanejo, dropping the anchor, relaxing in the anchorage, and then going to shore, because it's a beautiful town for walking around. They've got a nice waterfront area with pavers. It's clean, a lot of nice restaurants, little shops, little touristy shops like a lot of beach towns have. But when you go further, it's got a great produce market, a great meat market if you eat meat in the public market area. The waterfront walkway, they have this thing called the Fisherman's Walk. It takes you from the principal beach, Playa Principal, over to La Ropa. And it just meanders along the coast, and you're overlooking rocks and the anchorage and the boats and people out there looking for oysters and fishing. It's just really, really fun. The other thing I really enjoy about it is that in the center of the main beach, they have this sunken court. It's like a basketball court, but they also use it for other activities. And every night it seems they have something going on down there. Either kids or adults playing basketball, or music venues, or dancing. The other night they were doing a salsa, Mexican type, Spanish type dancing all night long. Everybody's out there having fun. And it was like that during the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday. It's got a good sense of community. People are out there enjoying themselves. People look happy. It was really quite enjoyable. The downside, what right off the bat, the thing that turned us off was the port captain has some very complicated procedures for checking in. Unlike every other place we've been in Mexico, has been real easy, but here you need to count on it taking a couple of hours and possibly multiple days to check in and to check out. They have a special form that other cities have not had, and it's also very manual. You fill out the forms, they enter it in something else, and then print out another form. In the process, they tend to make mistakes. Our friends have had the boat name misspelled, which can cause problems next time they go to check in someplace. The other thing is they charge fees here for both checking in and checking out. They call it an anchorage fee, and it varies between 350 pesos to over 500 pesos for each check-in and check-out. But what makes it even worse for me is that this port is totally out of control. The port captain does nothing to maintain safety. There are tour boats taking little kids out with no spotters, just a guy driving the boat. And we've seen these drivers of the boat looking at their phones, not looking at the 5 kids that they're towing behind them on floats with kids bouncing off. And you've got the pangas that take people from the main beach over to Las Gatas all day long. And these other boats that are towing kids are going across the bows of these shuttle boats, and it's just crazy. I'm sure there's a number of kids that get injured and die here every year, and it's just a shame that the port captain doesn't have some more controls here, like requiring spotters on the tour boats, and also having the tour boats and the fishing boats avoid the boats in the anchorage. They buzz right by us all day long. Kids on jet skis coming within 5 feet of us. They think it's cool and funny. They're out having a good time. They don't realize that it creates wake and bounces us around. They have no consideration of others. But I understand they're here for a vacation, having a good time, and half of them are drunk. But oh well. The other thing is the crime. 2 people in our party got their wallets stolen on Christmas night. And LeeAnne had an attack, a violent attack. So that turned us off. There's a lot of police here, but they don't seem to do anything. So it just, for me, coming from the U.S., where there's a few more safety controls, where you take human life more seriously, it's hard to see some of this stuff. But I understand this is Mexico, and they have a different philosophy, different culture. One real downside with anchoring off the main beach, which is where we were for the first week, is that it's filthy dirty. It's the water's so murky you can't see more than a couple of inches, and it gets a lot of runoff from the canal and the lagoon that it includes human waste. So it doesn't smell good, and it's just really very, very polluted. We had barnacles growing on our anchor chain within a couple of days. I actually tried to make water with our water maker once, and within 2 hours the pre-filters got completely clogged. That has never happened anywhere else in Mexico. So I learned not to make water in the Bay of Zihuatanejo. One unique thing that we experience here in Zihuatanejo are these dinghy valets. When you pull up to the main principal beach in your dinghy, there are these guys that work there all day long. They're there from early in the morning until about 8 o'clock at night, and they will help you bring your dinghy up the beach and out of the tidal area. And then when you come back, they'll help you launch your dinghy. And you give them a small tip, and they're very happy. But it just makes bringing your boat ashore a lot easier when you have a helping hand, especially when you're a couple like us, an older couple, and you have a heavy dinghy with a lot of groceries or other supplies in it. It's nice to have that helping hand.
And that's all for our stay in Zihuatanejo. What a roller coaster of ups and downs, but that's the life we signed up for. Be sure to come back next time as we pick up where we left off at the beach town of Chamela along Mexico's beautiful Gulf Coast. Hey, want to keep our videos coming? Help support our channel by buying us a drink. Visit our Patreon page to see how.